Hey YouTube, welcome to another edition of Christy's story of living with ankylosing spondylitis. So, let me give you a little backstory. Um, I've had ankylosing spondylitis probably for about 15 years. It went undiagnosed for a very, very long time. It originally started out as I was having a lot of lower back pain, suffering with sciatica, and it would go from one leg to the other leg. And I would go to the doctors and complain about it, and they would send me home with muscle relaxers, and some NSAIDs, and they'd tell me to go home and relax, that it was just sciatica. So that went on for several years. Um, and the next thing that happened, um, I would say probably about 13 years ago, I woke up one morning and I could not turn my neck anymore. And I thought I just had a crick, a crick in my neck, or if I slept wrong or something. And so I babied it for a few days, but weeks went by and months went by and eventually years went by, and now I have lost any mobility of my neck at all. I cannot turn my neck whatsoever. Look down, look up, sideways, side to side, zero range of motion. My cervical spine is completely straightened and fused. Um, and my SI joints of the hips, both sides, are also fused bilaterally. And it's beginning to affect my thoracic spine. I've been having, in the last probably 2 or 3 years, horrible back pain right there in the middle of my back. It felt like someone was stabbing me right in the middle of my back, and I literally couldn't catch my breath. Sometimes I couldn't breathe because of the pressure in my back. It felt like I was somebody was just twisting a knife in me. It was just horrible, all the time, constant pain. There was no sleeping at night. There was no sleeping at night. And so about 3 or 4 years ago, I also developed pancreatitis. And so in dealing with the pancreatitis, it pretty much took precedence over everything. I got down to 90 pounds. I had a feeding tube. It's just horrible, horrible. So, on a lighter note, I recently started the Humira shot. I am 12 days in on my, I did my first shot 12 days ago. And I have to say that as soon as I got the shot, the very next day, I noticed a dramatic difference. It really, really helped. But I'm on, like I said, my 12th day today, and I have noticed that some of my symptoms have returned. The pain in the middle back and the achiness that goes with ankylosing spondylitis has come back. So I get my next shot this coming Monday, and I'm excited to get it because I know that it's going to make me feel better. Let's see, what else can I tell you about? I filed for disability, and it took me almost 4 years to get approved for supplemental income disability, and that's not very much money a month. I haven't worked in about 5 years, 6 years, because of being so sick, and the only way I was able to survive was family members and government assistance. Medicaid, thankfully I'm on Medicaid, and it has covered my bills, but I feel like I am one of those patients that fell through the cracks. They treated me as if I was a drug seeker whenever I started complaining about my symptoms of ankylosing spondylitis. And even when I finally got a diagnosis, I still was suffering because they I never went to the right doctor. And I just recently, a month ago, started going to a rheumatologist. And I am in pain management now also. So that combination of those two has really dramatically changed my life. Since I did the shot, I gained 7 pounds in the last 2 weeks, which is absolutely amazing. And my mobility improved a lot. So there is hope for those of you that are suffering with this disease. There is hope. Um, there are a lot of scary side effects that go along with Humira, but I figured that the good outweighed the bad, so I took a shot at it, and the shot worked. So I'm going to stick with that for a little while and see how it works out, and it's really given me a lot of hope for a future with less pain and more mobility. The damage is already done to the neck and the hips. That can't be undone, but hopefully we can slow down the progression of the thoracic spine, which was already beginning to hunch me forward and has disfigured my spine in a way that I'm leaning forward, and it's my ribs are putting pressure on my lungs. So I try to do some exercises every day to kind of loosen up myself. Those of you that suffer with this know that when you first wake up for a few hours, moving is kind of hard. You're extremely stiff, and it's really hard to move. So after I kind of get going in the day, I will do some exercises. Like I'll lean up against a wall and put both of my arms against the wall and try to press and stretch my muscles in my back as much as I can. And don't have very much twist and motion to my back because of the damage that's done to that but I do try to stretch out as much as I can, and stretch my legs out to kind of pull those muscles in my back down to release them and relax them. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I don't really know what else to say right now. That's just a little bit of how I have lived with it so far. I don't want to be too dark and down because it's depressing to think about living with this for the rest of your life. Because before I got into pain management, I've only been on pain management for a year, but before that, guys, I can't even explain to you the amount of pain that I lived in on a daily basis. It was complete hell. And I'm not exaggerating that in any way. I physically ached all over my body. It was like the flu times 10. Every joint in my body hurt. My feet, the heels of my feet and my ankles hurt really bad. My knees would hurt really bad. Elbows. I suffer really bad with my right shoulder, which is when I stand sideways, you can see that it is deformed. It's actually pushed forward, and it looks like it's out of socket. It looks like when I did the X-ray for the rheumatologist, she asked me if I had broken my shoulder before, and I've never injured my shoulder or broken it, but the disease has deformed my bone to where it looks like I had previously had a break in that shoulder. But I feel like I'm getting a little stronger, so that's what I want to convey in my videos, that there is hope for us. What ankylosing spondylitis is an autoimmune disease. My blood produces a protein, too much of a protein. My immune system is overactive, and it produces a protein that attacks the joints and ligaments in my body. And it also attacked my pancreas, which is what caused me to develop the pancreatitis. So when you take the Humira shot, it knocks down your immune system. Kind of puts it in check a little bit so that it's not working so hard against your body, attacking your body. And it's really made me feel a lot better. So I don't know. Um, I guess I'm kind of endorsing Humira because it has worked for me, and it's given me a renewed hope for a future. So, anyway, that's just a little short story of a 15-year span of me living with ankylosing spondylitis. If you guys have any questions or comments, comment below. I'll answer back. And I'll see you next time. Have a great night.